Christmas University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. Much has changed in 2022, yet Christmas University Challenge persists. Rules unaltered, format familiar, questions comfortingly difficult, although I would say easier than in the student series. While students all over the country enjoy their winter break, 14 teams of alumni will sit behind these desks instead and hope that not everything they've been taught has deserted them. First this year are 4 graduates of one of the world's leading institutions for the study of Asia, Africa and the Middle East. They include, firstly, a photographer whose major works include a study of offerings at pilgrimage sites and the portrait series Lost Summer, for which she won the National Portrait Gallery's Taylor Vessing Prize. Her most recent project, The Islanders, documents traditional costumes of Sicily, Sardinia and the Venetian Lagoon. On her left is the head of the University of Leeds History Department, an expert in the history of medicine and public health. He helped develop the discipline of global health histories and works closely with the World Health Organization, leading a collaboration centre that applies historical data and analysis to WHO initiatives. Their captain is a historian and broadcaster whose presenting credits include Britain's lost masterpieces Back in Time for Brixton and the Radio 4 documentary Journeys in Afrofuturism. She's also the author of 2 best-selling books. The first, a study of the history and politics of Afro hair. The second, a broader manifesto for anti-racist action. And completing the team is a journalist who began her career in Bonn working for Deutsche Welle before spending a stint in Tunisia reporting on the Arab Spring and rising religious extremism. After a period on the travel desk, she is now a columnist for the Daily Telegraph. Let's hear them introduce themselves in the usual fashion.
Hi, I'm Alice Tomlinson and I graduated from SOAS in 2016 with an MA in the anthropology of travel, tourism and pilgrimage.
Hello, I'm Sanjoy Bhattacharya. I completed a PhD in history in 1996 with Peter Robb.
And their captain?
Hi, I'm Emma Dabbery and I read History and African Studies in SOAS, BA, and then did an MSc in Violence, Conflict and Development, graduating in the early noughties.
I'm Shah Jacobs. I read History, graduating in 2010.
Now, their opponents are playing on behalf of a college 650 years older and around 8 times smaller, founded by John de Balliol on the orders of the Bishop of Durham. Their first player is a philosopher who is currently the warden of Rhodes House in Oxford. She's the first woman to hold this position, which includes responsibility for administering the Rhodes Scholarship. Previously, she was president of Agnes Scott College in Georgia, where she was nationally recognised for diversifying student enrolment. Joining her is the current chief executive of Humanists UK and president of Humanists International. He is the author of several books on secularism and humanism and has represented humanist organisations before the House of Commons and the United Nations. Their captain is a crime novelist and critic who's also a trained solicitor. In 2020, he was awarded the Crime Writers Association's highest honour, the Diamond Dagger, and he's the current president of the Detection Club. He's also the author of 2 acclaimed histories of the genre and a discussion of the crime writer's craft. Now, their final player is a professor of political philosophy at the University of York with a particular interest in economic justice and social inequality. His books include The Case for Community Wealth Building, which proposes a new economic model rooted in collaborative institutions. Let's meet this year's team from Balliol.
Hello, I'm Elizabeth Quiche. I read for a BPhil and DPhil in philosophy at Balliol College, Oxford in the 1980s.
Hello, I'm Andrew Copson. I studied classics and then ancient and modern history at Balliol, leaving in 2004.
And this is their captain?
Hello, I'm Martin Edwards. I read law at Balliol in the 70s and graduated in 1977.
Hello, and I'm Martin O'Neill. I read philosophy, politics and economics at Balliol back in the 1990s.
Well, I hope you wouldn't sign up for this without knowing the rules, so let's just get on with it. Fingers on the buzzer. Here's your first starter for 10. With sound effects created by mixing microphone interference with the sound of idling film projectors and visually enhanced by rotoscoping a glow around reflective rods, which fictional weapons made their first appearance in a science fiction fantasy film of 1977?
SOAS Bhattacharya.
Phaser.
No.
Balliol Cobson.
Lightsabers.
Lightsabers is correct, yes. You get 3 questions on counties whose names have other meanings. Which county of the Republic of Ireland shares its name with the outer bark of the tree known binomially as Quercus suber, known for its impermeability, buoyancy and elasticity?
Cork.
Cork is correct. The name of which council area and historic county of Scotland spells a short word meaning an instrument traditionally paired with the drum in military music?
Fife.
Fife is correct. Which county of Northern Ireland has a name that, as a noun, denotes the plumage of an unfledged bird?
County Down.
County Down.
Down is correct, yes. 10 points for this. Situated directly east of Manitoba, which Canadian province has natural borders including...
Balliol O'Neill.
Saskatchewan?
No, you lose 5 points. Has natural borders including Hudson Bay and the St. Lawrence Great Lakes chain and is home to about 1/3 of the country's population.
SOAS Dabri.
Ontario.
Ontario is correct. 3 questions on a computing pioneer for your bonuses. In 1936, which mathematician conceived an eponymous model of an abstract general computer that manipulates symbols on an infinite strip of tape?
I missed the beginning of the question. IBM. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Are you happy with that? It wasn't that person. He was asking. A person? I missed the beginning of the question. Yeah, me too. Okay.
We're going to go with IBM.
That was Alan Turing.
Oh.
Turing proved that no general solution exists to what decision problem in computing? This problem asks whether an algorithm exists that can determine whether any computer program will ever stop running.
No idea what computers, I'm afraid.
Pass.
It's the halting problem. In 1950, Turing proposed a method for assessing whether artificial intelligence had reached human-level intelligence. What name did he use for this procedure, later used as the title of a 2014 biopic?
What's the name of that film with the computer, with the robot? And yeah, is it Sentience? AI. Yeah, no. It's like he's talking to them. Just go for Sentience.
Okay. Sentience?
No, it's The Imitation Game. 10 points for this. The Firemen of Aliju and cast of characters from Snow White are among the works of which artist, formerly artist in residence at the National Gallery in London, born in Lisbon in 1935?
SOAS Tomlinson.
Paul Arago.
Paul Arago is correct. These bonuses are on plays whose action takes place over the Christmas period. Which play of 1879 by Henrik Ibsen begins with Nora Helmer returning from Christmas shopping and her husband gently rebuking her for spending too much money?
Playwright knowledge is not good. Do you anyone know any plays, any Christmas? I can't think.
Pass.
At least you're honest. It's A Doll's House. The Long Christmas Dinner is a 1931 play by which US writer? It presents 90 years in the lives of the Bayard family in a short single act, with family members aging, giving birth and dying as they come and go from the dinner table.
Try Arthur Miller? I don't know. Arthur Miller? It's just the playwright, not the name of the play. Playwright? Yeah, playwright. Okay, it's Arthur Miller.
Arthur Miller.
No, it was Thornton Wilder. Which 1966 play by James Goldman is set in the court of Henry II over the Christmas of 1183? A 1968 film version stars Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn.
I don't know what it's called. I can think of even how it looks, but I don't know its name.
Yeah, I'm the same.
We don't know the name.
It's The Lion in Winter. Right, we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you will see a map of the United States. 10 points if you can name the highlighted state.
Balliol Quiche.
Wisconsin.
No? Anyone want to buzz from SOAS?
SOAS Danbury.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania? It's nowhere near there. No, it's not. It's Minnesota. So we're going to take the picture bonuses when someone gets a starter question correct. 10 points for this. In January 1922, the 13-year-old Leonard Thompson became the first person to receive an injection of what hormone?
SOAS Jacobs.
Insulin.
Insulin is correct. So you'll be pleased to hear that you get the picture bonuses. For your picture starter, you'll remember that you saw the location of the state of Minnesota. Minnesota farms more turkeys than any other state, with roughly 18 million birds, according to 2017 data. Your bonuses will be 3 more states that farm more than 5 million turkeys, with 5 points for each you can name. Firstly...
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, North, South.
North Carolina.
It is North Carolina, yes. Secondly...
Okay, wait, that's just above.
Is it Mississippi?
No,
Is it Georgia?
Yeah. It might be Mississippi, actually. Yeah.
We go with Mississippi?
Yeah.
We're going to go with Mississippi.
No, you're wrong. It's Arkansas. And finally...
It's along from Pennsylvania.
That could...
Massachusetts.
Is it Ohio?
It could be. It could possibly.
I think Ohio's bigger.
I don't know.
But
Yeah,
in lieu
maybe,
of
yeah.
nothing else.
If it is near a lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ohio?
No, it's Indiana. So we're going to take another starter question now. During the pre-Christian Scandinavian festival of Yule, logs were traditionally lit to honour which Norse god, sometimes equated with the Roman god Jupiter and associated...
Balliol Cobson.
Odin.
No, you lose 5 points. And sometimes associated with a hammer called...
SOAS Bhattacharya.
Thor.
Correct, yes. So you get a set of bonuses on bells now. The well-known Westminster Quarters tune played from Elizabeth Tower is believed to originate from I Know That My Redeemer Liveth, which is an air from which oratorio by Handel?
Anyone good on classical?
Four Seasons.
That's Vivaldi.
No, did he?
Did Handel do Four Seasons as well?
No, he's about
Yeah.
Vivaldi did 4 seasons.
Yeah, but Handel.
Dido and
Yeah, go for it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it? I can pass over.
Dido and Aeneas.
No, it's not. It's from the Messiah. And inspired by ringing bells, tintinnabuli is a compositional technique developed by which European composer, whose first work in this style was the 1976 piano piece For Alina?
Chopin. Mozart.
Mozart.
No, it's Arvo Pärt. Finally, chimes or church bells often feature in performances of which work by Tchaikovsky commemorating the Battle of Borodino?
Tchaikovsky, anyone?
No, I don't know.
Guess it's
Victory.
the Nutcracker. I only know the Nutcracker. And...
Come on, let's have it, please.
What one?
I don't
Swan
know.
Lake.
Love it.
Huh? Swan Lake. Swan Lake?
Okay, fine.
Swan Lake. No, it's the 1812 overture. 10 points for this. Thought to derive ultimately from a Hebrew term for a ram's horn that was used to proclaim a year of emancipation. What word is now more commonly used for a period of celebration to mark an anniversary such as that of...
Balliol O'Neill.
Jubilee.
Jubilee is correct. You get a set of bonuses on astrophysics. From the Latin for cloud or fog, what term denotes a dense cloud of interstellar gases that can act as a star nursery, with examples including horsehead, crab and oyster?
Nebula.
Nebula is correct. The Crab Nebula, located in the constellation Taurus, is a remnant of what type of astronomical event that occurs when a sufficiently large star reaches the end of its fusion-burning life?
Supernova.
Supernova is correct. The supernova that formed the Crab Nebula was observed in 1054 by Chinese astronomers. What is the two-word phrase, translated literally, used to refer to the event? The same phrase can refer to an actor who appears in a television show as a one-off event.
Star.
Guest star.
Just
guest star.
Guest star.
Guest star is correct. Well done. 10 points for this. Published posthumously in 1928, the year of the poet's death, and later set to music by Benjamin Britten, Winter Words is the 8th and last poetry collection by which writer? His earlier collections include Time's Laughing Stocks and Wessex Poems.
Balliol Copson.
Thomas Hardy.
Thomas Hardy is correct. You get a set of bonuses this time on the Winter War. On November the 30th, 1939, the Soviet Union invaded which neighbouring state whose unexpectedly strong resistance led to months of fighting in bitter cold?
Finland. 39.
Finland or Poland?
Finland.
Finland. Yeah. Finland.
Finland is correct. Secondly, the war followed a Soviet-German agreement that put Finland within the Soviet sphere of influence, part of a pact commonly named after which two foreign ministers?
Is it Molotov and Ribbentrop?
Is it? What is it? Is that early? It's that early, is it?
Yeah.
It is that one, isn't it?
Molotov and Ribbentrop.
Correct. The unprovoked aggression caused the USSR to be expelled from which international organisation with its headquarters in Geneva?
League of Nations. I think it was the League of Nations. Was it the League of Nations? You don't think so?
League of Nations.
League of Nations is correct. We're going to take a music round now. For your music starter, you'll hear a piece of popular music. For 10 points, please name the group performing.
SOAS Debris.
The Four Tops.
The Four Tops is correct. Same old song. So we follow on from that, which was co-written by Lamont Dozier, who died in 2022. With the music bonuses, 3 more songs where Lamont Dozier had a songwriting credit. Firstly, name the group performing on this song.
And there ain't nothing I can do about it.
The Supremes.
The Supremes is correct. Well done. Secondly, name the artist singing on this 1970 hit.
Motown.
Band of Gold.
Band of Gold. Martha something. Martha Fun. Not Tammy. Martha.
She did loads of
Yeah, I know.
It's Band of Gold, but the singer is...
It is Band of Gold,
yeah,
but I needed the singer.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's so annoying.
Come on.
It's not
Any
Martha,
surname, any
it's not
surname.
think. No.
It's not Marla.
No, we've had long
Okay,
enough
okay.
waiting for you to answer this. It's Frida Payne. Surprised you don't remember her. Finally, name the artist performing on this song.
Good.
Smokey Robinson.
Yeah. Is that it? Definitely Motown. How sweet it is at home.
I don't know if it's Smokey Robinson. Maybe.
Sam Good is the only one.
Sam Cooke. We're torn between.
Let's go.
Smokey Robinson.
No, it was Marvin Gaye.
Oh God.
10 points for this starter question. The 2014 Ig Nobel Prize was won by Oslo University's Biosciences Department for response behaviours as Svalbard reindeer towards humans disguised as which large Arctic animals?
Balliol O'Neill.
Polar bears?
Polar bears is correct, yes. Amazing what you can get money for. You get 3 questions on orchestral instruments. Richard Wagner designed and gave his name to a form of which instrument that supplemented the French horns in his ring cycle and was also employed by Anton Bruckner in several of his symphonies?
something in it as well. What gave his name to it?
Give a name to the Wagner.
Wagner horn? Or French horn?
I don't know.
The Wagner horn would be too easy an answer, surely.
Yes, yes.
Wagner horn.
No, it's a Wagner tuba.
Wagner.
The basset horn was a form of clarinet often employed by Mozart and was revived by which composer for his 1909 work, Electra?
Yeah, try that. I think that's the only thing I can think.
Stravinsky.
No, it's Richard Strauss. Notably employed by Hector Berlioz and César Franck, which instrument is pitched a fifth below the ordinary oboe?
Bassoon.
Bassoon?
Bassoon.
I have no
Bassoon.
No, it's the English horn, or cor anglais. 10 points for this. In February 2022, which West African country beat Egypt on penalties to win?
Balliol O'Neill.
Senegal.
Senegal is correct. You get 3 questions on recent books about football. What club is the subject of the award-winning 2021 work by Simon Cooper, subtitled The Rise and Fall of the Club That Built Modern Football? Its most recent UEFA Champions League win was in 2015.
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Barcelona is correct. The Immortals by the former manager Arrigo Sacchi chronicles his time managing which club which he led to European Cup victory in 1989 and 1990.
AC Milan.
AC Milan. AC Milan.
AC Milan is correct. And finally, a work by Miguel Delaney is the official history of what competition that marked its 150th anniversary in 2022?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, try it.
FA Cup.
FA Cup is correct. Well done. Right, we're going to take a picture round now. For your picture starter, you'll see a photograph of a footballer. For 10 points, please name them.
SOAS Tomlinson.
Beth Mead.
Bethany Mead is correct, yes. For your picture starter, you saw a photograph of Beth Mead, who with 6 goals and 5 assists was the top scorer at the Women's Euro 2022, as well as UEFA's official player of the tournament. Your picture bonuses will be 3 more of the top 5 scorers in the tournament. 5 points for each you can name. Firstly,
Was she French? I don't remember her name. Does anyone know? No.
You're on your own on this one, I'm afraid.
I watched some of the Euros, but I don't remember her name. No. Last.
We have no idea.
that's Alexandra Popp, who scored 6 goals. Secondly, who's this?
Oh, she's the French. Is she French? The French player. Sorry, I don't know her name. Anyone know? No.
No idea.
Nope.
That's Grace Gaoro. And finally, who's this?
That is Alicia Russo, I think.
Okay, you can answer.
Alicia Russo?
It is Alessia Russo. Right, we're going to take another starter question now. What 3-word name was given to a World War II campaign whereby open spaces from private gardens to public parks were transformed into allotments?
Balliol Compson.
Dig for Victory.
Dig for Victory is correct. You get these set of bonuses there on the US artist Audrey Flack. Flack's website describes her as a pioneer of what artistic movement? Other artists in this movement include Richard Estes and Chuck Close, and it is sometimes known as superrealism or hyperrealism.
Any idea? Superrealism or hyperrealism? Photorealism? That's
Photorealism.
Photorealism is correct.
Yay.
Alluding to the transience of life, what Latin name for an artistic genre did Flack give to a series of still life works that includes World War II and Wheel of Fortune?
Is it Memento Mori? No, that's just a guess. Is it Memento Mori that sort of reminds you that life is short?
Memento Mori.
No, it's Vanitas.
Oh, sorry.
A 1977 Vanitas still life depicts which Hollywood star with objects including an hourglass, a candle and a photograph? She died in 1962.
Marilyn Monroe.
Correct. 10 points for this. The word meme, M-E-M-E, originally referring to cultural objects that replicate analogously to genes, was coined by which?
Balliol O'Neill.
Richard Dawkins.
Correct. You get 3 questions on the staple crops of the Pacific Islands. What is the common name of Artocarpus altilis, a tree of the mulberry family widely used in South Pacific for both food and construction? Its name references a food product which its large, starchy fruits are said to resemble in taste and texture.
Breadfruit.
Breadfruit is correct. Closely related to the Edo, which root vegetable is mashed with water to make the Hawaiian staple poi? Some Hawaiian creation myths name it as the ancestor of all people on the islands.
Did you say root? Yam or root of, I don't know.
Yam.
That's not specific enough. It's taro. Derived from Malayalam, the word copra refers to the flesh of which fruit when dried for export and processing, in particular for the extraction of oil?
Coconut.
Coconut is correct. 10 points for this. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. These are the words of which Nobel laureate in the 1963 letter from a Birmingham jail?
Balliol O'Neill.
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King is correct. You get a set of bonuses on fictional Lauras. Laura Jessen, played by Celia Johnson, falls in love with Dr. Alec Harvey in which 1945 film by David Lean, set largely at a railway station?
Brief Encounter.
Correct. Laura is the protagonist of which 1871 work of vampire fiction by the Irish author Sheridan Le Fanu? And at the gong, SOAS have 75, Balliol College Oxford have 155. Bad luck, SOAS, but 75 is a respectable enough score to be leaving with your heads held high. Congratulations to you, Balliol.
Thank you.
If you're one of the 4 highest scoring winning teams, you have to come back and play in the semi-finals. I hope you can join us next time for another of this year's heats. But until then, it's goodbye from SOAS.
Bye.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Balliol College, Oxford.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.